What's on our show today? Providing a caring environment for our children with special needs.
The Early Stimulation Program is an excellent program, and it provides intervention for children with developmental challenges from 0 to 6 years old.
I don't know how to manage without this place. Just don't know how to manage.
Plus safeguarding our youth from making harmful decisions. Hello and thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. We have a full show lined up for you today, so let's get started.
Mommy?
Yes, Zoe?
Can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges a...
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, November 23. The Education Ministry this morning instructed Montego-based schools that were affected by yesterday's severe flooding to remain closed. The area was severely impacted by flash flooding, which left several roads blocked for hours. Indications are that while the rains have abated, there is a lot of mud on the streets, making it difficult for pedestrians and vehicular traffic to move around. In a statement, Portfolio Minister Ruel Reid advised parents and school administrators to continue paying close attention to releases from the Met Service and assess where it is safe for children and adults to use the roadways. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is to receive a preliminary report of the impact of the flash flooding in the city. The National Works Agency is to provide the assessment following this morning's tour of the area. Government will be exploring measures to enable early childhood institutions to extend their current services to accommodate children from as young as 7 months. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says it recognizes the global standard of the early childhood stage of life being categorized as 0 to 8 years old.
So the state can't be absent. I can't come here and therefore say we're offering free primary education, free secondary education, without the government now go to the very bottom, to the very core of where the education sector really begins.
He has charged the Early Childhood Commission with reviewing how to implement such a shift.
I want a proposal that now takes government all the way down to 7 months old, particularly for the most vulnerable parents and households in Jamaica.
Minister Reid was addressing the recent opening of the Dudley Grant Memorial Trust Early Childhood Development Conference in Montego Bay. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency has intervened to safeguard the 4-year-old at the center of a viral social media video. In the 6-minute video, said to be recorded in September this year, the child is seen being beaten by her mother, supposedly for playing with friends at school. Education, Youth and Information State Minister Floyd Green says the Child Protection and Family Services Agency has placed the child in the care of her grandmother. She is currently receiving counseling and other related services. While he encourages Jamaicans to share child abuse videos with the police, Minister Green is also urging parents to stop using corporal punishment as a means of disciplining their children.
There must be a realization that you're really, through corporal punishment, you're instilling violence in the child as a means to remedy a bad situation. And as such, that is what they live all their life. When something is not going right, they believe the reaction should be violent. We have to stop it.
Meanwhile, the Legal Aid Council has assigned a lawyer to the 4-year-old's mother. The woman from Whithorn in Westmoreland is being represented by Senior Counsel Lambert Johnson. Mr. Johnson met with the mother on Tuesday and will be accompanying her to question and answer sessions with the police and representatives from the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. Director of Health Promotion and Prevention at the National Family Planning Board, Andrea Campbell, says Jamaica is making strides towards achieving the UN AIDS 90-90-90 targets by the year 2020.
For the first 90, which speaks of HIV-positive persons knowing their status, Jamaica is at 85%. For the second 90, which speaks to persons diagnosed being on ARV, Jamaica is at 45%. And for the third 90, which speaks to 90% of those on ARVs being virally suppressed, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. We're at 27.6%.
Ms. Campbell was speaking at the recent launch of World AIDS Day. It will be observed on December 1 under the theme, "We have the right to health. Keep the promise. Don't turn your back on me." Activities will include a media campaign as well as song and visual arts competitions. Persons are being invited to participate in a march from Mandela Park to Emancipation Park in New Kingston, where there will be a health and wellness expo. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is imploring persons who have outstanding traffic tickets to use the amnesty to have them cleared. Last week, the government announced a 45-day traffic ticket amnesty, which will run from November 27 to January 31. It follows a 90-day amnesty, which ran from August 2 to October 30. According to Mr. Holness, the traffic ticket amnesty is not only a revenue collection method, but also a matter of fairness. He says it will give persons the opportunity to have a clean slate, something they should take advantage of.
We believe we are now at a stage in terms of the backroom operations, in being able to identify persons, to be able to effectively enforce tickets. After the amnesty is over, the direction to the police will be a zero tolerance of infractions of the Road Traffic Act.
Electronic ticketing and increased fines are part of the new Road Traffic Act. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Stop! Don't turn the blind eye to child abuse, child neglect, and child labor. If you know or even suspect child abuse, call the Children's Registry. Together, we can make a difference.
The Ministry of Labor and Social Security, through its Early Stimulation Program, continues to provide a learning and rehabilitation environment for children with special needs. The program is free of cost to parents who are encouraged to take their children for assessment at 95 Hanover Street in Kingston or call 922-5585. Here's more.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
The Early Stimulation Program is an intervention assessment catering to the various developmental needs of children with disabilities from birth to 6 years old. The program operates through the Ministry of Labor and Social Security under its Integrated Social Protection and Labor Program.
The Early Stimulation Program is an excellent program, and it provides intervention for children with developmental challenges from 0 to 6 years old, whether physical or mental challenges. It identifies and it intervenes at an early age.
The program is to assist these children who are sometimes left behind, disregarded, stigmatized, to reach their highest potential and to be mainstream, whether into the special education program or the regular education system.
Approximately 30,000 children have been assisted by the Early Stimulation Program, ESP, since its inception in 1975, and over 6,000 of them have been placed in regular primary schools or special education centers. Children in the program have varying types of developmental disabilities, and are all ably catered for through intervention strategies employed by specialized professionals.
Our stimulation exercises look at least at 5 developmental domains. They look at the language of the child, the cognitive, the social and emotional, the growth and fine motor adaptive. This helps us to sort of set their program and to take them through the developmental process.
Children who are brought to the early stimulation program are usually referred by the hospitals, infant and basic schools, and by social workers and guidance counselors.
When they are referred, what we do is a developmental assessment to see where they are, and then we put together a program tailored to meet their developmental needs.
The work of the ESP is not limited to the center. Child development officers are also in the field, working with children at schools, nurseries, and also in communities through home visits.
They receive other assistance through the ministry, the PAD program, for adaptive aids, wheelchairs, eyeglasses. They are part of the PAD program, which gives further assistance. Also through small rehabilitation grants that assist the families of these children to better help themselves.
A number of improvement projects are being implemented, which will provide the students with resources to improve the quality of their learning. Of note is the new $87 million multi-purpose facility built at the ESP location on Hanover Street, downtown Kingston, to replace the building that was there. Funding was provided through the Inter-American Development Bank's Integrated Social Protection and Labor Program.
This modern center represents and provides a new lease on life for children with disabilities whose well-being and welfare will be further enhanced. The ESP currently provides care and support to over 1,500 children with disabilities island-wide, and the services are available to persons from all strata of society.
This is a very significant milestone because it's the only service of its kind that's provided by the government of Jamaica, where children can be provided with assessment and early intervention, and it also helps the children to benefit from the services that will help them to be the best that they can be.
The new facility now boasts an administrative block, assessment clinic, staff room, multi-purpose meeting room, receptionist and waiting area, assessment rooms, sensory and speech therapy room, physiotherapy room, green space, and play area.
Children, when you see their faces, then you know that they are satisfied, and it will only help them to fulfill their potential. In terms of the staff, they are elated, they're excited, they're happy, and of course feel appreciated for the work that they have been doing over these years. And so this will only help them to do more and to be more productive.
Once you visit one of these homes, you can feel the genuine love oozing from the people who teach them. They're not called teachers, they're called aunts. And the children have bonded with them in such a positive way.
I don't know how to manage without this place. Just don't know how to manage. The staff at the stimulation program, they let our babies feel like human beings. You feel special, Words can't explain.
My child both feet were twisted. And this program has helped him to get off the twisted foot because he couldn't walk. He's now walking, running, he's all over the place, on his toes. This program has done marvelous for him.
She coming here, she wasn't doing anything but carrying her to the early stimulation. She started creeping, she started holding on, she started getting up off her own. And it made a big difference to me because when I used to have her home, she wasn't doing anything at all. But carrying her here and to the physiotherapy, yes, it's work. So no more crying for me.
This stimulation here helps us because we are poor, we can't afford, the other places. So this helps us to know more about our child and also to stimulate our child to get better, and we meet other parents that is suffering the same way that we are feeling, and help us to get over our problems. They take us to seminars, you know, differently from our sessions that we have here at this building. So he has improved a lot. And it's not me alone see it either, don't it, Si?
And though the program has been reaping positive results, there are plans to further expand its offerings.
Early stimulation program reaches approximately 1,500 children. Currently, we have 3 facilities, one on Hanover Street, which is our main facility where we do assessment of our children. We also have another facility on Austin Avenue in Kingston, and that facility is the Early Childhood Center educational facility. We also have a center in Portland that was opened last year, and most recently we just opened another facility in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay. Our facility at Austin Avenue will also benefit from support from the IDB, where we'll be expanding that facility to be able to cater to an additional 40 children. We also have plans in the future, when we're working with our partners, to open a center in St. Anne, and as time goes on, we hope to expand where we have at least one facility in each parish.
The ESP also facilitates the provision of field placements for tertiary level students in the fields of physical therapy, psychology, social work, and early childhood education.
As the ministry continues to serve children with special needs and their families, our aim is to build on the foundation of this assessment center and multipurpose facility and strengthen the pillars of accessibility and range. For in serving our community of persons with different abilities, we can achieve a desired society which is inclusive, participatory, and empowering for all.
I would like to say to parents, don't sit there and wait saying you don't have the money or you can't afford to. It is free. Come in and have your child assessed and begin the intervention program with your children with special needs. The sooner the better. Don't sit and wait.
For further information on the early stimulation program, call 922-5585 or visit their office at 95 Hanover Street in Kingston.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, Bolt and a Sapa.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think that's so? We reach our aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Sometimes we use the scary things like cancer and other side effects from smoking as a means of getting teenagers to quit or to not start. But another serious reality for this age group is that smoking slows down their learning ability. This is something to consider if you are smoking and not getting the grades you should.
Cancer is usually the first thing that comes to mind when talking about the effects of smoking. But the fact is, cancer is just one of several harmful effects to the body. And if you look at the bigger picture, you will see that smoking affects the body from head to toe. This information was part of the message being shared with close to 500 students who were at the Jamaica Cancer Society's Anti-Tobacco Youth Forum in March. The main message?
We want to say to you this morning, don't be fooled. Cigarette has an agent in it, nicotine. It's highly addictive, and once you start, it's going to be difficult for you to stop.
Quoting from statistics out of the United States, Dr. Foster said smoking-related illnesses killed more people per year than AIDS, fires, road crashes, murders, suicide, and alcohol combined. Her presentation had the attention of the students, and she continued by telling them that persons who smoke usually experimented with either things like alcohol or drugs.
And then you're addicted, and then you're dying to quit. When we say you're dying to quit, we're not speaking about it in the figurative sense. We're talking about it in the literal sense. In that the longer you take to quit, the more likely you're going to die from the effects of cigarette smoking. Every cigarette smoke reduces life by 11 minutes. Think about it. Every carton reduces life by a day and a half. Every year a person smokes a pack a day, his life is shortened by about 2 months. And the years of life expectancy of a typical smoker is 25 years. So you lose about 25 years if you spend your life smoking.
The sixth staging of the Jamaica Cancer Society Anti-Tobacco Youth Forum was held under the theme #MakeWeTalk. It focused on areas such as risky behaviors among adolescents and empowering young adults. The event included video and audio-visual presentations and talks from representatives of the Ministry of Health, National Chest Hospital, National Council on Drug Abuse, NCDA, Heart Foundation of Jamaica, and the Association of General Practitioners.
What we're doing is giving the information at this point that all form of smoking and vaping is dangerous, especially to developing body and developing mind.
And whereas students believed that smoking hookah or electronic cigarette was much safer, Substance Abuse Officer at the NCDA, Daniel Brown, raised the red flag.
Did you know you can get an STI from smoking a hookah? No. Understand this. The mouthpiece, what is down the bottom, because you do what? You share it. They move from mouth to mouth to mouth. So if the person has an STI, what you do with it? You pass it along. All right? Did you know when you sit down in a session for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes smoking a hookah is equal equivalent to smoking about 100 cigarettes or more one time?
A research done by the NCDA in 2010 showed that Jamaican youth begin smoking as early as 13 years of age. The data also showed that at least 44.4% of students have smoked at least once, 31.3% smoked a tobacco product, and 20.2% have smoked cigarettes.
Teen smokers have a harder time competing in sports, right? They're more likely to get sick from colds and flus. They're not going to be able to perform at your maximum and achieve the best from your schooling and your education. We know that within minutes of a person smoking a cigarette, it affects their heart rate goes up, they get constriction in their blood vessels, even their lungs, they get tightening of their airway and increased production of mucus.
After hearing these important presentations, we spoke with a few of the students and one teacher to get their reactions.
It has helped me a lot, like to understand the importance of drugs and substance abuse.
We really need to enforce this in the schools more, and to have students like myself notified more about that it's not good for the body, and that we need to be more serious about it and to say no when we have friends that are pressuring us to do such bad things.
What I learned is that smoking, it can damage the brain.
I believe that this is a good initiative by the Jamaica Cancer Society to make students aware of drugs, and we're not naive that some students are smoking, and by bringing the information to them, that it will deter some of them, and also they will take it back to their peers as to why they shouldn't smoke also.
I think more students will be more aware, and the more awareness we get, it is the more students are able to make better decisions, which will impact Jamaica.
The impact hopefully includes less youth being involved in tobacco or drug usage, more students empowered to focus on their studies, and a generation that will spread the message of the dangers of tobacco.
The item of the future. Drugs and everything that is negative will take away from Jamaica's rich future, which is embedded within the item. If we don't rise, then Jamaica is doomed to fail. Say we love Jamaica. Say no, we're no better than Jamaica. Yeah. Our island paradise, real Jamaican pride.
Stop smoking around me! Without cigarettes, the world will be much better. Smoking is bad for your health, and when grown-ups smoke around us, We are breathing in their smoke too.
Cigarette smoking is bad for your health and the health of those around you. Don't smoke around children. A message from the Pan American Health Organization.
We're continuing the conversation on making smart choices. Now, earlier we shared some important information on why smoking is not good for children. We changed the focus now to look at the dangers of lottery scamming and why you should never get involved.
We know why, no let us scamming ya. We know why, no let us scamming ya.
Wise up, you, myself, wise up, you. A scammer, you want me to turn? Me not take that to the world. Me not go use no digi, nor no line to commit no fraudulent crime. Wise up, you, myself, wise up, you. It's better to learn the maths so you can get a good grade on your GSAT.
It's better to learn the communication tasks so it won't cause an alarm when someone you have to ask to fill out a simple form.
So guess what? Everybody read this to me now. Lottery scamming. Stop it before it stops you. Don't start.
This is really an intervention or an approach, a proactive approach that we're using to curb lottery scamming through social development. Because if we can get children to understand that lottery scamming is wrong and that it is a crime, right, then we will be starting a change.
Wise up, you, myself, wise up, you.
My youth, my girl, don't be a phone confederate. That's not what it means to be literate.
Use their knowledge, use their mind for the betterment of mankind.
All of this is coming from my heart. So use education to play your part.
Get a good education. Stop lotto scamming before it stops you.
I want to ask you something this morning. Tell me, who wants to be scammed? Anybody here want to be scammed? No. That means you know what scamming is? Oh, you all know what scamming is? All right. Scamming is what? Tell me. It is stealing. You believe that? Of course, because it's not yours, and you call somebody, you know what they do when they scam? You call and you tell somebody that they win something. You know about that? When they didn't win anything, and you trick them and then you get them to send their money. It's not yours, so it is. It is stealing, and it is a trick, and it is pretending.
We know why, no let us scamming ya. Learn alphabets and ability thing. Learn how to spell and their reading. Pay attention when teacher teaching. Run go to school before the bell ring. We know why, no let us scamming ya.
We are going to be targeting also the high schools and the community colleges. And we are also going to be targeting the parent-teachers associations, the parent-teachers meeting, because we have to spread the message. Lottery scamming is wrong. It's a crime.
How can we prevent scamming?
By not tricking people.
Oh, give it up for him. Give it up. Come on, give it up for him. Such a brilliant young man. We have one more question. I'm going to ask you to give a statement. If you should say something to the scammers in Montego Bay, what would you say?
They should not scam because it will make them go to jail.
I think it is the way forward, not only for our school community, but also for the nation.
I believe that the MOCA team is doing a good job, and I would just like to encourage them to continue to go into more schools, as lottery scamming must be stopped, and it begins with the younger generation.
We know why, no let us scamming ya.
If you want to be something that you see and who do him running, put on the phone, don't alpering. When the law catch you, use up your hand and do the right thing. When result come,
we know why, no let us scamming ya. We know why, no let us scamming ya. We know why, no let us scamming ya.
See, Marcia husband, him a one of the biggest druggies.
Wait, somebody a scream.
Lord, them a bundle price work and never pay the extortion money.
Who them man there?
And what them a do with Jackie little daughter?
It's serious times. Speak up for justice and keep your eyes open. When you hear about any crime, report it. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
And that's all the time we have for today, but another program comes your way tomorrow. Until then, just click on our website, jis.gov.jm, to stay connected. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.